Okay, welcome Peter and Claire. Thanks for coming today. I know it's really a tough thing to do. Really hoping that we get some sort of improvement after today. Did you receive your joint meeting guidelines in the post?
Yes.
Yep, you did. And they make sense to you? Yeah. Good. Just a brief reminder about the guidelines then. Mediation is a voluntary process and it's completely confidential, so everything that's said and discussed in the room today won't be going any further from us. We do ask you to do the same. A couple of ground rules, so if you could just not interrupt each other and be respectful at all times, we find that it goes a lot smoother. A bit about the process as well, so it's our process. We're very strict about that for a reason. We find it that if you follow our process, it works well.
It's worth adding also that we're neutral and impartial in our roles here. It isn't for us to tell you what the solutions are. It's for us to help you through this process to find some solutions that are going to work, going to be realistic. Does all that seem clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions on the process, how it's going to work?
No.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so next we'll ask each of you to speak in turn to tell us what's been going on for you, how it's affecting you, that sort of thing. Please don't interrupt each other. You will get a chance to respond to each other's comments at a later stage, but at this stage it's to let us know what's been going on for you. Is that all okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so Peter, can we start with you? If you can just explain what's happening.
Yes, I have lived in my flat downstairs for many years and it's been reasonably quiet. I've had no particular issues with my neighbours, but since Claire and our lot have moved in, it's been so noisy and I've had a lot of situations where I've just can't take it any longer and I had to go to the police.
What a fuss about nothing. Honestly, for heaven's sake, you know, I'm just living my life.
Claire?
There isn't anything that I'm doing particular, is there?
Claire, this is actually Peter's opportunity to speak. This is the uninterrupted part.
Yeah, thank you. I think perhaps you see how Claire is. She's quite a loud person and I'm not used to it and I don't see why I have to put up with it. The walls, the roof, the ceiling, whatever you call it, are quite thin and I hear all the banging of doors and all the children up there. I don't know how many children she's got, but it seems like a dozen or half a dozen at least. And it's just not acceptable. It's not acceptable and she needs to look after her kids properly.
Can you just tell us a little bit more about what you mean by look after the kids properly? And
well, in my day when we brought up kids, what did we used to say? You've got to be seen and not heard. Certainly I hear a lot more than I see of children she's got, and I don't know, she seems to be struggling with discipline, shouting at them and banging doors and big fusses and fights and so on. It's just not acceptable. And then the kids run around outside and I don't know, I don't see anybody disciplining those kids.
Does that cover everything, you think?
I think so.
Okay. Now, David will just summarise what the key issues are.
yeah, so I think what I've been hearing is you've been there for a while. You were used to it being quieter. You're saying that since Claire and her children moved in, it's become very noisy, noise, banging. I think you're saying you've got some problems about the behaviour of the children.
Parties.
Parties as well. I'm not sure if you mentioned that.
No, I didn't. No.
Can you just tell us about that one then?
Oh, there was a party not long ago. I just had to go to the police in the end. They were making such a row and all sorts of rowdy behaviour outside and around the flat.
Okay. And I got a bit of an implication that you don't think she's doing a very good job about controlling the children.
No.
Right. Claire, I'm sure you're wanting to say things, but just a reminder, you get your opportunity a bit later on. Yeah. Does that cover everything?
I think so, yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so can we move on to Claire, if you can
You know
tell
what?
us
I've
what's
been there for
happening.
18 months And in the last 18 months, he's just moaned and groaned. He's been having a go through my neighbours. I keep hearing I'm being talked about. All I'm doing is living my life, bringing up my 3 kids. I go out to work every day. I do look after my children. It's not like I don't. But they're teenagers, some of them now, so they've got their friends and they do make a noise. And you've got nothing better to do than just sit around at home worrying about what I'm doing. I don't think you go out, I don't think you do anything, I don't think you've really got a life, but I have, and I'm just getting on with it. And for 18 months, you've just gossiped about me, you've talked to the neighbours about me, and it's just got to stop. You know, I'm not there for you to have a go at me every time I do something. It's just not on. You're a grumpy old man. Yeah, that's what it's like for me, it's not good.
Okay, do you think you've covered everything?
Well, I'm just a bit worried about what he's going to do next, you know, where it's going to end. If he's going to go and talk to the housing about me, he's already called out the police. He's just got too much time on his hands. He's too worried about what I'm doing from day to day.
Okay, so that sounds like quite a big worry.
Yeah, it is a worry.
The housing.
Yeah, it can be. You know, I don't know what I'd do if I didn't live there. For 18 months, you know, I've been living there. Nobody else has complained about me. It's just him downstairs.
Okay, Claire, I can see you're quite upset about it all. Can I just summarise what I think I've heard from you? You're upset and angry that he's complaining about you a lot. He's complaining about you to neighbours, he's complaining about you to the housing office, and that makes you insecure, makes you
Well,
worried.
he doesn't come and talk to me about it. He talks to everybody else, so I don't know what
Right.
he's doing. I don't know
And
what's
that
going
he's
on.
talking, so he is talking to other people and not to you. Yeah. Do you think are there other issues that I haven't really mentioned there?
Well, I don't know what it was like in his day, but you know, I am bringing up my children. I don't have any support from anybody. There are some issues with my children, but you know, you've just got to give me a chance. I am doing the best that I can. And you never come and talk to me directly about it. I just hear this from the other neighbours, what they're talking about behind my back. And you're the cause of all that, all the gossip that's going round in our street.
Okay, so I'm hearing that gossip is quite a big problem.
It's an old
for you.
gossip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you. Thank you both very much. That's, I think, got quite clear about what both your issues are. There is obviously quite a lot to go into there.
So you don't feel that anything's been missed? You think that's covered everything?
Well, I don't know. There'll be a list of things I expect he'll come out with, but you know.
Okay. Well, I think we've got a good idea of the issues. I think you've presented them well. We understand them fully. So I think now we'll give you both a chance to respond to those comments. Is that okay?
Okay.
So, Peter, can you start by responding to what you've been hearing from Claire? And this is going to develop into a discussion between the two of you, and then we'll try and help make that a constructive discussion.
Yes, well, I think I heard half the problem is she thinks it's quite normal to carry on like that and let their kids run wild and make noise, and she make noise herself and so on. So this is the problem. Where's the father, for goodness sake?
What do you mean, where's the father? For heaven's sake, what's that got to do with you? It's none of your business.
Claire.
For heaven's sake.
Claire.
I'd have to come here and tell you all my business.
Claire,
it's got nothing
Claire,
to do with you.
We did talk about being respectful throughout the process. I do understand that what you're hearing is upsetting.
He's going to upset me.
Yeah, of course. Do you want a time out?
He's just got to realise that it does affect me.
You're upset. What about me?
Yeah, I am upset.
Would you like a time out?
No, I'll be all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I put that as a constructive criticism, that perhaps she thinks what's normal is, to me, certainly not normal.
Can you understand why Claire might be upset by that?
No,
The way you're putting it?
no,
Not at all.
no.
Claire? Well, I don't know what it is. You know, I get up in the morning, the kids have to go to school, so we're up quite early. I get them up, we all leave the house about 8:30, I go off to work. I come home, they have their friends round, Sometimes there might be a few friends trying to hang outside, but then that's our day done. And as far as I'm concerned, that's our routine. And I don't see why I should have to change. I don't see why it should affect you. I don't know really what it is that you want me to do.
Well, it affects me because there's a lot of noise that goes on, and I don't want that to affect what I'm doing. I want a quiet life.
You have to go off telling the housing about me. What are you trying to do?
I'm not trying to do anything, just stop all that noise and fuss.
Can I go back a little bit and just ask what sort of noise is it that bothers you the most?
Banging around and banging of doors and stomping around and kids running wild and music and all sorts of noise and shouting. They seem to have terrible rows, mother and children mostly.
And can you just tell us what sort of times of day this is all happening?
Oh, it starts early in the morning when I get up. Well, I have to get up at about 6:30, something like that, because they're already started to make noise.
So could this be when the children are getting ready for school?
So I've got 3 children, 2 boys, one that won't get
Only
up and one that
3?
will.
Well, I never.
One that wants to get up really early, and once he's up, that's it, he's awake. And the other one doesn't want to get out of bed. So automatically I've got a problem, and then I'm trying to deal with my daughter as well, and I've got to get myself ready.
So shouting at them helps?
Well, it's the only way to get them going in the morning. That's just what happens, that's how it is. I've only got like half an hour to get us all out of the house in the morning
Mm.
and get off to work.
And tell us about the noise during the day. So after the kids have gone to school.
It's not so bad. I get a bit of respite, yes, not so bad.
Yeah, well, I'm not there during the day, so maybe I can moan about somebody else. Go and have a chat with somebody else about one of the other neighbours.
I talk to them to see that it's not just me that's getting upset by all
Well,
this
nobody
noise.
else worries about me, do they? They don't go and talk to the housing and call the police.
No, because perhaps they don't live underneath you.
So it sounds like that really bothers you, the fact that you feel that you might get in trouble with housing.
Well, I don't know where it's going to lead. I mean, I've been there for 18 months and it's sort of been constant. And I know that he's been going to the housing. He won't come to me to talk to about it, so I don't know what the housing think and what they think they're going to do about it, but it is a worry. You know, I don't know where I'd be if the housing said I've got to move. I've got my job down the road, the kids go to school, and it's on my mind.
So you said, what have you had in mind when you've gone to housing? What are you expecting housing to do?
To tell her what's acceptable and what's not acceptable as far as being a neighbour is concerned in a block of flats.
And have they done that?
I don't know. Have they? Have they been in touch with you?
Well, it's not really up to the housing to tell me how to live my life either. I just want to be left alone. I don't want someone coming telling me what to do. I'm bringing up my kids the way I think I should bring them up. It's my business.
So do you think maybe this is more something which you and Claire have to talk about rather than getting housing to sort out?
Well, I don't know.
You just don't really appreciate, I don't think it is, you know, to have kids and have them day in, day out with nobody helping me. I haven't got anybody there helping me, and I've got one of them has already got a condition that I have to manage.
myself. I know how to look after kids.
When you haven't got kids, you haven't got kids.
Yeah, they're grown up. You don't see much of them, and they're big kids now.
You just live on your own.
Well, yes, I do now. My wife has died.
Hmm.
But I know how to bring up kids, and I know what proper discipline looks like, believe me.
And on the subject of noise in kids, so if you've brought up kids, what sort of noise do you think is sort of reasonable? What would you expect to hear from kids in a flat above you?
Well, not to be as destructive as it is at the moment. I mean, it's just totally unacceptable. Screaming, shouting, banging of doors, stomping up and down. Well, it's like living in Bedlam.
Well, one of the kids is a bit hard to deal with. He's got ADHD.
ADHD, I hear that all the time now.
Well, we've been to the doctor. I am trying to get some help with it, but sometimes it is hard. And I've been to the doctor myself because I do find it quite stressful having to deal with him and the other 2 as well. And especially in the morning, it does get a bit much. And I didn't realise actually you were on your own. I didn't realise that your wife had died. That must have happened before I moved in.
Yeah, it's just before you moved in, actually.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
So, Peter, you say that you've heard of ADHD. You hear about it often.
Yeah, sounds like everybody's got ADHD now.
Do you think it would help you if you understood a bit more about ADHD, about the effect it might have?
I don't know.
Claire, do you think?
It just means he needs that extra attention. Once he's up, he needs constant looking after. He's very, very vocal. We don't always communicate very easily. He can be very noisy. And some of the banging of the doors and all that sort of, well, my oldest son's just as bad actually. But he's a bit easier. Maybe I could, I explained to him the noise he's affecting his neighbours, and he might actually understand.
And he's hyperactive, is that right?
He's on the go all the time. He wears me out actually. And as I say, because I am on my own, it's a lot to cope with, and it does get stressful. The doctors give me something to calm my nerves, so yeah.
So it's affecting you as well?
Yeah.
Right, I didn't know that.
So just so I understand, right, the ADHD condition is actually diagnosed by the doctor, is it?
Yeah, it's only been fairly recently diagnosed.
Yeah.
He's 10.
So you're clear that he's got that, he's
Yeah.
suffering from
Yeah. And it's going to be an ongoing situation. Obviously, I might be able to get more help with that, but yeah, it is something that I've got to manage myself.
So do you think some of the issues that Peter's raised regarding noise, slamming doors, that sort of thing, is that something that you could discuss with the children to maybe try and reduce it?
Well, in the mornings, my daughter's good. She gets herself up. Maybe she could help me a bit more. My older son's probably old enough now. I could reason with him. It's just the youngest one's still a bit of a nightmare.
And which is the one that's got ADHD?
It's Ryan. He's only 10.
The youngest.
Yeah, so it's a bit of an early start with him, but maybe I can find something for him to do for the first half an hour. I'm getting the others ready. He's got a computer in his room. Maybe I could just get him to sit quietly with that for a little while to keep him occupied.
Okay. I certainly didn't mean to disrupt your life, or get you worried about being thrown out. That's not the intention at all. I just wanted a peaceful life. I think I'm entitled to a peaceful life.
Yeah. Well, I don't want you to be upset, but it's been really on my mind. I don't want to lose my flat. It's a good flat for us living there. And I don't want it to, upset our neighbours, but I just want you to come and talk to me about it.
You must understand that I've lived there for many, many years, and it's really difficult for me to accept that somebody should come in and just do what they want to do, say what they want to say, shout as they want, and bang doors and let the kids run wild. You do understand that?
Well, yeah, I think it's a long time since you've had children, but,
Yeah.
maybe I'll get them to play outside a bit more rather than just staying indoors. Would that be better?
But it looks like they're just running wild out in the streets there.
Well, they've got to let off steam somewhere.
Okay. So it seems that you've heard each other's views now and you've got a much better understanding of each other's positions. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'm sorry that, it's got to this stage, really.
Yeah, I didn't mean to gossip, as you call it, with the neighbours. It's just I want their opinions. I didn't know whether it's just me that found this behaviour unacceptable, but I just thought she was a thoroughly bad parent, to tell the truth. Thoroughly bad.
So do you think your views have altered?
Well, remains to be seen.
Okay. But you're willing to see how that goes?
Yeah, I'll give it a try.
Okay.
I think perhaps a little bit of ground we've got to cover before we reach that point, but yeah.
Okay. So maybe now we can have a look at the main issues and see how we could move forward. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
So let's start with the noisy party, because that didn't seem to come up much. Let's deal with that first, because it sounded like a sort of slightly simpler issue.
Well, I don't have an issue.
Oh, you don't remember all that noise and fuss and
It was just a
drunken
one-off.
people around?
It was a one-off.
How do you say it's a one-off?
Well, it was my brother came round. It was him, I think, that was actually causing the problem. And thinking back on it, he did get a bit drunk. But it wasn't really me, it was more my brother. I think, that came around and caused a problem.
And? So what's going to happen in the future?
Well, he's moved now, so he won't be coming back round at the moment. So
No more parties?
well, I wouldn't say never, but not on a regular basis.
Right. God.
I think, Peter, you called the police, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit over the top, just having a bit of fun.
Yeah, but you don't carry on until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning with all that fuss and laugh and...
But you're in bed by 10 o'clock.
I'd like to be.
I think we're hearing that it's a one-off and Claire's not intending to do another one. You said it didn't really go quite how you wanted it to go.
No,
Is that right?
you know, these things happen.
So what do you think about the future?
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
Maybe you could let Peter know if you're having a party.
Yeah, it's not going to happen that often. No, to be honest, I haven't got the money to stage another party anytime soon.
So you'd let me know if there's going to be one, so I can make arrangements to be away, perhaps, or
yeah, that will work.
or at least I'll be expecting the noise. It won't suddenly happen.
Yeah.
Music
To be fair, you
blasting
didn't know
and
that was going to happen. I didn't really know that was going to happen.
Okay, well that's good. If you let me know, that makes a bit of a difference. That's for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, that sounds useful. Moving on to the next one, which sounds like the biggest one, it's the noise from the kids. So you've had quite a useful discussion about that. You haven't quite agreed on everything, but it sounded as if you were coming up with some ideas. What do you think for the future?
Well, the noise starts too early in the morning, as far as I'm concerned. I'm getting up slowly, listening to the radio, and then it goes on until late at night. I mean, you say they're teenagers; they need to go to bed. Why are they making noise at 11 o'clock at night?
Well, maybe in the morning we could, temper it down in the morning, so there'll be a bit less fuss in the morning, and in the evenings, up until about sort of 8, 9 o'clock, they're going to be around. But after that, then I'll just tell them they've got to keep the noise down.
Right. What time in the mornings? How much peacetime can I look forward to in the mornings?
Well, I don't know. They start at about 7, but I could keep it down for the first half an hour or so by 7:30. Give you another half an hour to listen to your radio in the morning.
Right. Well, that's more reasonable anyway.
That'll work.
And you were explaining that Brian is having problems. He's got the ADHD, but he's now getting some help from the doctor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting some help and support, and so I'm hopefully, I'm going to know more about it and be able to manage it a bit better. So hopefully that will improve for all of us. Make it easier for all of us. He's a good lad, and I think you'd actually quite like him, and I think he'd probably quite like you.
Okay. Any other points on that, on the children's noise? It sounds like you've got a way forward there to me.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, I didn't want to gossip. I just wanted to find out that it was just not me being miserable. That other people found there was a lot of noise coming from your household. And going to the police, I thought that was what I was supposed to do, but certainly don't want to. And the local area authority and the housing authority, I wasn't trying to get you thrown out. It's just that I want the noise down to acceptable levels. So we need to work out some way so that I can talk to you, complain, is that the right word? If things are not acceptable.
Yeah,
And you know a little bit more about what I find acceptable.
You've just got to realise that I don't want to hear about it from other people. I'd rather you came to me.
Fair enough.
So maybe you should knock on my door, or why
I don't want a confrontation on the front door and finger wagging and a big fuss.
Well, how about if you just give me a ring if there's a problem?
Yeah, I don't have your phone number.
Well, I could give you my mobile. Have you got a mobile?
Yeah, I might need some help from your son on
Well, there you go. We
operating that.
could
Yeah.
show you how to text. We could send each other a message and see how that works out.
Okay.
That would work.
Okay. So you'd be okay about Peter phoning you up or
Yeah.
texting you?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
now I know that you're not going to be going to the housing. I feel a lot better. You know, I'd want you to come to me, really, but if you don't want to come to me and knock on my door, then we can just speak on the phone or text each other, and so there won't be a problem.
Sounds good.
Okay, so it looks as though you found some areas of agreement. I think Dave has been taking some notes, so could we go through those?
Sure. So Claire, in order to just get a bit more specific about the things you've been talking about, which I think was all very constructive, I think that you were saying that you're going to make an effort to keep the noise down, and particularly in the mornings.
Yeah.
Could you just tell us a bit more about how you do that?
Well, I'll just get the kids not to, you know, clomp about in the shoes, take the shoes off. Maybe ask them not
Okay.
to slam the door. And I will try not to shout at them quite so much in the morning.
Okay. And you were saying that you'd be trying to give Peter a bit more time to listen to the radio up till 7:30 or so.
Yeah.
Try to keep him quiet up to 7:30.
Yeah, we'll go for that in the morning. So that, yeah, it's quiet before then.
And when do you think you'll have all this happening rather than in theory?
Well, we'll give it a go over the next week and see how we get on.
A week.
You have to let me know how it goes for you.
Okay. It'll get better and better during that week, though.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Well, I think we've got to be realistic here, haven't we? I think if you can both agree what your way forward is and agree to talk to each other, then things are looking much better. Then I've also heard you say that you're happy to give Peter your phone number and for him to phone you up and talk to you if he's got problems, talk to you about noise or anything else, and it's a chance for you to talk to him, of course.
Yeah, we can do that before we leave today. I've got my phone with me. I'll just send you my number, and then, you know, from then on we can just have a chat or just send each other a text.
Okay. And Peter, I think we've heard you say that you understand that gossiping has caused some problems and it's something you're going to stop doing.
Yes, I will. I had no intention of causing any embarrassment to Claire and jeopardising her tenancy, so that I won't do that anymore. Yeah, I agree not to do that.
Okay. And that you're going to get in touch with her either by knocking on the door or by phoning her up if you have got some problems you want to talk about to do with noise.
Yeah, we're getting on all right this afternoon, but I think I prefer to exchange messages or talk on the phone rather than...
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes
Yeah,
in the
see how it
future.
goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how do you think you'll feel if you pass each other? Do you think you could say hello to each other, agree to be civil?
I'm always civil.
Yeah, I'll talk to you in the street. Yeah.
Right. We know each other, and I think
Yeah.
it's a little bit better than it was.
Yeah, good.
A lot better than it was, yes.
Yeah, get my kids to say hello to you.
Good.
Yeah.
Good, that would be
good.
nice.
Sounds really good. Well, I think we've come to an end. What we've done today is really difficult for you two. So thank you for coming along. Really hope that you feel that you've got something out of it and that it does improve. We always say to expect some teething problems initially because it doesn't sort of happen overnight. But hopefully, you know, things will be better.
Good.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, so I'd like to thank you as well and just add one thing, which is before you go, we will just write down in very simple form the points you've agreed,
Ah, good.
so you can take them away as a reminder.
That's not going to the house then, is it?
No, it's not. This is just confidential between you two, and it's not a legal agreement, and it's a reminder of what you've agreed today.
Okay.
So you'll tell housing that we've come to an agreement and they don't have any, they won't hear from us any further.
No.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, both of you.